Good morning. My name is Julie Williams, and it is my privilege to welcome you to Nashville State's Southeast Campus. A year ago, this building was unoccupied and closed to the public. Today, it is a major portal to higher education for the citizens of Nashville and surrounding communities, and the home to the Academy at Hickory Hollow High School. We are proud of the role we had in its opening and for being selected to host today's event. Before yielding the podium to Mayor Dean, I would like for everyone to know that because of his commitment to public education, we have this facility. Mayor Dean is the person who provided the initial funding for this campus. Without his foresight, we would not be here today, and the thousands who will be educated in our classrooms may have not found their way to the opportunities higher education offers. I cannot think of a better way to bring our mayor to the podium. Thank you. Mayor Dean.
Well, thank you, Julie, for that kind introduction, and thank you for hosting this event this morning, and good morning to everyone, and thank you for coming out here. Before we get to today's announcement, I want to, of course, recognize the governor and Randy Boyd, Dr. Register, Ralph Schultz, and some elected officials who are here with us today from the Metro Council. I think we have a quorum here almost. We have Councilman Duvall, Councilman Bedney, Councilman Dowell. We also have Council members Johnson and Dwayne Dominy. We have Cheryl Mays from the school board, the chair of our school board. Kathy Buggs and Phil Ponder from Congressman Cooper's office. We have Joanne Brannon, who's also here from the school board. We have representatives from the Board of Regents, and I want to recognize John Morgan and Rich Rhoda, who are here, and also Commander Paul Trickey from the precinct out here, who's done a wonderful job for the city and particularly for this area. Two of my main goals for Nashville are to increase high school graduation and to increase the number of citizens with college degrees. Nashville is a great city, and we regularly receive national accolades as evidence of this. Just this past summer, we've been named one of the best cities for jobs and a boomtown. But if we want to continue to be great, we cannot rest on our laurels. Greatness is achieved and maintained by constantly working to do better. And access to college education is one area where we need to do better. The cities that will be the most competitive over the next 10 to 15 years are the cities that will attract and, I think most importantly, create the most college graduates. We become more appealing to companies when they're choosing where to locate, our tax base is strengthened, and our crime rate is decreased. As I have said now for about 7 years, it really is all connected. According to the State Department of Education, between 2006 and 2010, only 30% of adults and 25 years of age and over in Davidson County had a bachelor's degree or higher. Just over 50% had at least an associate's degree. We can do better than that, and we need to do better than that. And it has to start with the students in our public schools. The good news is that we're on the right path and making progress. We have worked hard as a city in collaboration with our school system, our business and philanthropic communities to bring programs that will increase our college graduation rates. In the last 6 years, we have introduced highly successful reforms, Teach for America, the charter school incubator, into our local school system. Students who are more prepared in elementary, middle, and high school are clearly in a better position to enter and successfully complete college. We work with our school system, Nashville State, and the Nashville Public Education Foundation and others to create gap funding so that more Nashville high school students could take college courses through a dual enrollment program. Just last year, we created the Scholars Academy, a program that helps rising 9th and 10th graders and eventually students in 9th through 12th grade prepare for the rigor of college. Because we know it's not just a matter of being accepted into college, but succeeding in college that impacts a person's outcome. 1 year ago this month, we cut the ribbon on this beautiful Nashville State Community College Southeast campus. 1 year ago today, there were no students in college classrooms in Antioch. Students had to travel across the city to attend college. Next week, classes will start again here for a second year, and there will be 1,500 college students enrolled on this campus. This is truly great news for those students and great news for our city. I want to take a minute to recognize the wonderful partnership the city has enjoyed with Nashville State. George Van Allen has done a fantastic job of expanding the learning opportunities for citizens across Nashville, many of whom would not have had an opportunity to attend college without his perseverance. This new campus has been a real game changer for our city. I hope Nashville State will continue to expand to other areas of the city, and I will certainly support those efforts in any way that I can. Besides the work being done at the main campus, at the Southeast campus, and in dual enrollment classes across the district, Nashville State is now stepping up in yet another game-changing way, and that is part of why we are here today. One of the things that makes Nashville such a great place is that our community comes together to support issues of critical importance to our citizens. Our businesses, higher education, and philanthropic communities have always risen to the occasion when we have asked them to do so, and today is no exception. And so I want to announce today that thanks to the generosity of Nashville State and others, a very successful college access program, Tennessee Achieves, will be expanding to Nashville this year to open in every one of our high schools this fall. The new Nashville Achieves will provide any public high school senior the opportunity to attend a community college or technology center tuition-free. That's a big deal. That's right, tuition-free, and one of the things I hear so much is that students just don't have the financial ability to attend college. In Davidson County, in a system of over 80,000 students, over 70% are eligible for free and reduced lunch. These are kids who are at risk of being held back by their economic circumstances. I spend a lot of time talking about how a child's zip code and family circumstances should not dictate the future. I firmly believe that. And I believe that, as do the wonderful people who work at Tennessee Achieves. Students who want to participate in the program are required to apply for all the public funding for which they are eligible under the free application for federal student aid process. Students who agree to complete at least 8 hours of community service a semester while they're in the program, and if they meet these requirements, Nashville Achieves will pay the tuition costs that are not covered by the free application for student aid process. They close the financial gap that holds too many of our young people back. I honestly believe that Tennessee Achieves can move the dial forward dramatically. They are already making a difference in 26 counties in our state. The evidence is indisputable. In 2009, the first graduating class from the inaugural Knoxville program had a graduation rate more than double the statewide community college graduation rate, meaning the program doesn't just pay for college, it helps students succeed and receive a degree. Knox Achieves recently received an email from a mother of one of the 6,000 scholarship participants to date. She wrote, "We owe Knox Achieves a big thank you, because my son probably would have been one that had dropped out after the first semester. He has already matured, and had we not had the Knox Achieves pushing behind him and financially supporting him, he would not be in college this semester, not trying to accomplish getting his associate's degree." And that is what this is all about, and I am so thrilled to announce the expansion of this program to Davidson County. The brains behind Tennessee Achieves is Randy Boyd, a man who clearly puts his money where his mouth is. You'll hear from Randy shortly, but I want to tell you a few things that he probably won't mention. Every penny that is donated to Nashville Achieves and to the program in all the other counties goes toward tuition scholarships. every penny. And that is because Randy foots the bill for all the overhead himself. He provides the staff to run the program, and he pays them out of his own pocket. And on top of that, he donated the first $100,000 to get Nashville Achieves off the ground. So that leads me to my first challenge of today. After this inaugural year, Nashville Achieves will require donations of just over $1.2 million annually to keep the program at full capacity. Randy covers all of the overhead and donated $100,000. Nashville State Community College has generously committed to making a very substantial contribution for the next 3 years. Joe and Dorothy Scarlett, who are here, United Way, Eric Dewey is here, the CEO, ATT, and other philanthropists have made very generous financial contributions. On behalf of the city, I want to thank them all for their generosity. And I'm announcing today that the city is committing to contributing up to $750,000 to Nashville Achieves over the next 2 years. So my challenge is to other businesses, nonprofits, and philanthropists. Join us in being part of this game-changing program. Make a real difference in the lives of young citizens. See Randy today or contact him after today and make a contribution. Together, we can do this. One of the things that makes Tennessee Achieves and Nashville Achieves a success is the mentor program. Each scholarship recipient is connected with a mentor, a college graduate who helps the student along the path through college, providing encouragement and support. These mentors play critical roles in the lives of students who often do not have a support system that is familiar with the path to and through college. That, to me, makes the program special. And it brings me to the next challenge I want to issue today. Nashville Achieves will need at least 325 volunteer mentors for this first year, and we're in the first year. So I'm issuing a challenge to all qualified Metro employees to sign up as a mentor in this program. Metro employees already receive 2 hours of paid leave time each week to volunteer in schools under an executive order I signed in 2010. To all qualified Metro employees, I encourage you, if you have not signed up for another school project, to use those hours, become a mentor for Nashville Achieves. And I issue the same challenge to other businesses and organizations in Nashville: law firms, corporations, small businesses, nonprofits, churches. Encourage your qualified employees to sign up to mentor one of these students. They will truly be making a difference in the life of a young Nashvillian, and they will be helping to make our city an even greater place. Let's come together like Nashvillians do and fill those mentor slots. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a man who has made increased college completion a focus of his administration. Governor Haslam was a supporter of the concept of Tennessee Achieves since its inception in Knoxville. He recently appointed Randy Boyd as special advisor on higher education to focus on cost, access, and quality. A pretty brilliant appointment, given Randy's work already with Tennessee Achieves. So it's only appropriate that he is here today as we announce its expansion in all of our high schools in our state capital. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big welcome to a true champion of quality education, Governor Bill Haslam.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you all for being here. Mayor, your leadership in this program, in this building, in so many other ways, I think exemplifies why Nashville is that city. And there's a whole lot of great things happening around here, and a lot of them have your fingerprints on them, and we're very, very grateful. I'm here to provide perspective really in two ways. One is the governor, in terms of talking about Tennessee's big need. Every year in Tennessee, about 60,000 students graduate from high school. About 20,000 of those don't even consider going on beyond high school. okay? And there's a lot of reasons for that, but there's an impact to that as well. Going forward, you've heard us talk about a drive to 55 in Tennessee. That's a drive to have 55% of our population have at least a 2-year degree. Right now, we're at about 32%. So we need to do some pretty strong things to change that. But when 20,000 people don't go on to school at all beyond that, we have an issue. Now, you might say, well, why don't they? Well, there's several reasons. One, financial impact is a critical drawback for a lot of people. And this program addresses that. As the mayor said, it's a last dollar scholarship so that every child in Davidson County can go to community colleges free. The second reason is a lot of those folks, just nobody in their family had ever gone to college, so it's not on their radar screen, and they don't consider that. One of the beauties of this program is the mentor program that says, okay, we really want you to go to school, so you need to take the ACT. Here's the date. Let's make certain we get the application. Here's how you fill out the FAFSA form, which I'd have a lot. Anybody's ever filled out one is shaking their head like, that's really, really hard, okay? And then here's some encouragement as you get ready to go off and attend that school. Here's the results. Like I said, the other hat I'm wearing is one from when I was the mayor of Knoxville and nashvilleAchieves started. I can't take credit for it. It started while I was mayor. I didn't start it as mayor. I want to be real clear. But I was privileged to be a part of the early board and to see what's happened. So here's what's happened. Of those students, 2/3 of them are from families that are the students are first-generation college attenders in their family. 70% of them come from families with incomes below $50,000. And they're getting their 2-year degree, at as the mayor said, at twice the statewide average. So this is a program that is not just one of these great ideas, but it actually has a proven track record. Metro has stepped up to make a huge commitment to go along with others that is happening here that I honestly believe will change those statistics in Tennessee to where several years from now we won't just be saying only 32% of us have a degree beyond 2 years. What's that mean? I'll let Ralph Schultz and some others talk about it in a minute in terms of their drive, but I know this. Every time I'm out recruiting businesses, every time the conversation eventually comes back to workforce preparedness. This program will make a difference in that, in making Tennessee a desirable location and in making our citizens have those opportunities. Well, the mayor said a lot about Randy, so I won't say much more except this. When I realized that we had to put a new focus on increasing the amount of our population with a college degree, I immediately turned to Randy because I'd seen the passion he'd put into this. The mayor talked about, like I said, he's fronting all the expenses beyond the direct ones to do the college. He's been a large donor in Nashville, in Memphis, in Knoxville. But here's something maybe that's the most impressive about Randy. The mayor talked about the importance of mentors. Randy's a mentor himself. So think about that. He's got a little business on the side he runs. He's working full-time for me. I literally get emails from him at 4 a.m. in the morning and at 10 o'clock at night on the drive to 55 to change Tennessee in terms of our college attendance. He's raising money all across the state for this effort, and he's still finding time himself to model out what it looks like to be a mentor. So it is with a lot of gratefulness and a lot of anticipation that I introduce Randy Boyd.
Thank you, and thank everybody for coming here. So first, I'd like to kind of start off by setting the record straight. There's too many accolades for me. This Tennessee Achieves project is a group effort with a lot of great people along the way that have made it happen. But we're all excited about being here and launching in Nashville. Maybe just a little background, because you kind of maybe wonder, how does a dog fence salesman end up in this spot? And by the way, I was just thinking as I'm looking at the podium, how do you tell a dog fence salesman from everyone else? He's the guy without the tie. But anyway, so I just happened to be in the right place at the right time about 5 years ago. As you probably would expect, somebody that's in the dog business might be promoting things on animal welfare. So we had this mission to make Knoxville the most pet-friendly city in America. Met with our mayor, Mayor Mike Ragsdale, and asked him about some help that we needed on certain things like parks and legislation to allow dogs on patios, et cetera. And like every good politician, he said yes to everything, but he had a quid pro quo. And the quid pro quo was he wanted me to help him to accomplish his vision. And so Mike's vision, Mayor Ragsdale's vision, was he wanted to make sure every high school graduate in Knox County had the opportunity to go to a community college at no charge. And he particularly wanted to focus on those that were underserved. And we refer those underserved as those that weren't going to be, didn't have the athletic ability to get an athletic scholarship to go to college. They didn't have the academic skills, or the academic record at least, to get HOPE or other financial scholarships that were going to be able to pay their way through college. So they were going to have to pay for it themselves, but their families didn't have the money to send them. So in fact, they just simply weren't going to go to college. And probably the thing that I think was maybe one of the biggest challenges most of these young people had in their life was they didn't have a mentor or role model in their life, somebody that had been to college before that could help guide them through the process. Usually, as the governor mentioned, first-generation college goers. So with that, he shared his vision, and I've mentioned this many times. It was, for me, a Pearl Harbor moment. What I mean by that is I'm trying to imagine what it was like back 60 years ago when President Roosevelt came on the phone or on the radio, 1941, and says, you know, our country's been bombed. Pearl Harbor has been attacked. We need to all rise up and defend our country and defend freedom. And I'm just wondering at that moment, you know, how many people heard that on the radio and said, yeah, I don't know, this isn't a good time for me. You know, I just got a new job and my kids are playing soccer. I just don't think I can participate. You know, when the governor or when the mayor shared this concept with me, I just had to say yes. So from there, so Mike Ragsdale is his vision, and I've just been lucky to happen to be there at the time when he shared it. We then went around to the community and tried to rally some support, met with our mayor, Bill Haslam, along with a couple other business people, Tim Williams and Rich Ray. Tim Williams in particular said, look, if you'll lead this thing, I'll raise half the money. I said, deal. So that's how I ended up being where I'm at here today. But Tim was key in getting all this going. At the very start, behind the scenes, doing all the actual work was Chrissy D'Alejandro. And she was the mayor's assistant chief of staff at the time, went on to become executive director of Tennessee Achieves. And so when I brag about Tennessee Achieves, it's easy for me to do because I don't actually do any of the work. I just talk about the work that's being done. Chrissy and her team actually do the work. Within the first 90 days, we managed to raise $2.3 million in cash and pledges from people in our community. Within the first 120 days, we had over 180 mentors, all that we felt like we needed. In the first year, we ended up sending 320 kids to school. The next year, we sent 400. The next year, 600. In every case, the statistics were about the same. 68% were first-generation college goers. About 75% had family incomes of under $50,000. So we were hitting that target group. Then in 2010, a couple of things happened to us. One of which was one of our board members got a new job in Nashville. And he resigned from our board, but encouraged us to look at expanding this across the state. Within very short order, by 2011, we were in 26 counties across the state. Unfortunately, not in Davidson County. By the end of that first year, we managed to offer scholarships to 24,000 students. 6,000 applied. Close to 2,200 actually went to college. Last year, the follow-on year, we increased the same number of applications or people that we offered the applications to. 8,000 applied, and we ended up sending 3,200 to college this year. The statistics have been the same. About 68% are first-generation college goers, and about 75% are making incomes of under $50,000. So we were hitting the target. Then the Mayor Dean and I have been talking for the last couple of years about trying to get something going in Nashville. He'd keep encouraging me to get on the stick and get it done. And finally, we decided to have a breakfast about 4 months ago, which the governor and the mayor hosted. Had a lot of people in the room similar to this, and a lot of people, we shared our story, and a lot of people stepped up. You know, Greg Morton with AT&T were already contributing for a test at McGavock High School. They continued their pledge, introduced us to Eric Dewey and United Way. At that moment, they came up to us after the talk and said they're going to step up and help. So that was a good start. Then about 2 weeks later, I got a call from my good friend Joe Scarlett. He and Dorothy said that they were personally going to step up and match my commitment and support this program. So with that, we were on our way. So we thought, well, this is enough to at least launch to 8 high schools, the most needy high schools in our community. Met with Dr. Register. He helped us identify those, and we were planning on launching today anyway. However, about 4 weeks ago, Mayor Dean called me up and said, you know, I've been talking with George Van Allen over at Nashville State. 8 schools just isn't good enough. Every single high school student in this state, in this county, needs this opportunity, and we can't just serve just a handful. So we're going to step up as a city, and Dr. Van Allen's community college is going to step up, and we're going to make this possible for every single high school graduate in Davidson County. So a lot of thanks to a lot of great people that helped get us to this point. And one of the things as probably many of you are, you're involved in a lot of different nonprofits and philanthropic efforts, and I am as well, but this, I believe, is the most efficient and the most effective program that we're involved in. It's efficient because we're sending them to community colleges. Community college is a great value. If you go to a community college, something, that I don't think we talk about enough, and we probably have some folks in the newspaper here, one of the things that's annoying to me, we talk so much about all the student debt, but the fact is we've got in Tennessee something called transfer pathways where you can go 2 years to a community college and then transfer to a 4-year school. If you just do that 2 + 2, you've got a 30% discount. We should be having billboards and headlines about 30% off sale, but we don't talk about it. And now with Davidson Achieves, if you get the first 2 years free, now it's a 50% off sale. So this is a huge value in education. No other county, well, except for the other 26 in Tennessee, but no other state can offer that. So it's a huge opportunity for messaging that we need to put a lot more focus on. The other thing is, as I think the mayor mentioned, but we make sure that all these students fill out the FAFSA as early as possible. We have a 91% FAFSA filing rate, and all those file before February 1st. So that's off the charts. I think the state average is something less than 50% total. We've got 91% the 1st of February. So we're making sure that our students get every bit of state and federal money that's available to them. And lastly, as the mayor mentioned, our company and others are helping to cover all the expenses of all the administrative. So every single penny that anyone contributes to this goes straight to a student. So not a bit of it's wasted on overhead. And then lastly, this is just an incredibly effective program as well. If you go to a community college, you get that 2-year degree, you're going to make 400% more in your lifetime than if you just went to high school. And from an investment point of view, if you go to a community college, 80% of the people that go to a community college stay in the community. So it's a great investment. And today, we've decided to add the TCATs, our Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology, to this program. And their record is just off the charts. Over 75% of their students graduate, over 90% get placed in a job, and in jobs that are very specific to the jobs that industry needs. So they're a great value. We started just last year testing with the TCATs in Shelby County. Last year, we sent 30 kids to the TCAT there. This year, we're sending 150, so a 500% increase. That tells you there's a lot of demand for those type of skills, and our industry, I think, can back that up. So we've got an ask. The mayor's already asked for funds, so I won't do that. That's usually my job. Doesn't mean that I won't ask you before you leave, but I won't ask you just now. But the thing that I would like to ask is for you to sign up to be a mentor. So if you've got an organization that you could let us come and talk to, we would love to have you. Something that I don't think was mentioned, the average commitment's only like 10 hours a year. So it's really not a huge time commitment. But I can tell you, after 5 years of being involved in this program, it's really fun to come up here in front of you and talk about all these macro numbers, 3,200 kids, 68% first generation. But at the end of my days, when I look back on this experience, it'll be about my memories of Zach and those other young men that I've worked with every single year and seeing the change that you can make in their lives. We're not only changing lives, we're transforming communities. You all have the opportunity to do that. So I'm hopeful that this day will be a success if everybody in this room decides to become a mentor. And I'm looking at our video team. So one of my best associates at Radio Systems is a guy named Andrew Boggs. He went to Pellissippi State Community College and learned videography there, and he's just a tremendous asset to our company. I imagine there's a lot of people in Davidson County that might want to follow in your career. We'd love to have you guys as mentors as well. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all the support across the community, and look forward to building this program for years to come. Thank you. Oh, and I would also like to introduce our next speaker. I was reminded, don't forget, Dr. Jesse Register. If he's not doing his job, there's no opportunity for these people to go to college. If they're not prepared properly in high school, they can't take advantage of this opportunity. And nobody's more committed and more passionate to getting that done than Dr. Jesse Register. And we're happy to have him with us today. Thank you.
Good morning. Do I need help following this? I don't know what to say. To follow the governor and the mayor and Randy in making such a great announcement for all of our 83,000 students. 83,000 is our number right now. So thank you so much on behalf of our school system and the young people who we have some representatives here from our academy here at Hickory Hollow. Randy, I don't know how to follow this except to say this. I might have the opportunity to be your first volunteer. I'm volunteering. There you go. I have a great opportunity as a director of schools or as a superintendent to participate in lifetime experiences for young people. One of those is when young people start to kindergarten, and we've got several thousand new kindergarten students now in our district. And the other is when they graduate from high school. And in Nashville, when we look at our vision for kindergartners, we hope that by the time they walk across the stage at graduation, they have academic, social, and emotional foundations and the knowledge, skills, and character that they need to excel in life, in school, and so forth. And I think we're making real progress in our district. Our district's one of just 37 across Tennessee earning a spot in the state's intermediate or exemplary categories. Our students' graduation rate and ACT scores are rising. Increasing numbers of our high school students are earning college credit through AP exams, International Baccalaureate Program, and dual credit classes with area colleges and universities. More and more Metro Public Schools graduates are ready to take the next step and enroll in college. And we're very proud of that. For too many, though, access and affordability hold them back. That's why this is such an exciting opportunity for many of our young people in this district. This will make college a reality for many of our high school students who have worked hard to prepare for college but did not see a pathway. Most of our students are economically disadvantaged. We have students from 140 different countries in our school system. As mysterious and confusing as the college process is to most families, imagine what it's like for first-generation Americans or for first-generation college goers to navigate the process and be successful in getting there. It's very dangerous to call names. I've called 3 here. Mayor Dean's been a tremendous support, and the governor and Randy Boyd. It would be remiss, I would be remiss if I did not recognize George Van Allen and the great partner that he's been with Nashville State in providing space for us to have a high school in this facility and working with us in getting more of our kids into community college who couldn't have gotten there otherwise. George, thank you for your great work. Community support has already made a tremendous difference in our high schools, where more than 250 businesses and higher education organizations, nonprofit, and community partners have helped us implement the Academies of Nashville program. The Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce has been our close partner in this work. The Chamber's support for education is vital to our transformation efforts, and we're excited the Chamber is lending its support to this initiative, and we look forward to working together with the Chamber as we go forward. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the CEO of the Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce and a good friend, Ralph Schultz. Ralph?
Thanks, Dr. Register. And Randy, I can take this tie off if that'll make you feel more comfortable. Look, I just want to begin first of all by saying that the business community, as you know, is deeply engaged in supporting education, and there's a reason for that. We are fortunate to live in a very prosperous area, and we are prosperous because this community invests in itself. We know that the community is not prosperous without individuals having the equal opportunity to enjoy prosperity in their individual households, and education is very key to realizing the opportunity and the prosperity that goes along with it. And so we are very excited to be joining this effort, particularly in supporting the recruitment of mentors. The business community looks for leadership, and when you look at the leadership engaged in this activity, from the mayor to the governor to Randy, to the schools director, Jesse Register, to Joe Scarlett, to the United Way, you see the team of people that's assembled that gets things done. And the business community will want to be engaged in that kind of effort because they can be sure that the outcome is good. Mentorship is a very key component of this activity. The financial side is being taken care of, but mentorship, as we see in the academies, provides a relevance, an experience for the student, and encouragement to the student that can't be provided in any other way. So we will be engaged as part of the effort to recruit those mentors so that every one of those students has the opportunity to benefit from that experience, to benefit from the relevance that mentor brings to the game and the encouragement. And Dr. Register, I'd really intended to be volunteer number 1, but I'm happy to be volunteer number 2. So Mayor, Governor, Randy, Dr. Register, thank you all for your leadership, and we look forward as a chamber to being engaged to help create equal opportunity for this prosperity. And now to close us out, our Education Mayor, Karl Dean.
Well, thank you, Ralph, and thank you to the business community for all that they do in our schools every day. And I want to thank everybody who came today. We can look forward, I think, to some great success with Nashville Achieves. This is the conclusion of our formal program. For any of the media present, I and the other speakers will be available to answer questions individually. But again, thanks for coming. It's it may be kind of rainy outside, but it's a pretty darn good day in Nashville. Thank you.